A familiar face joining us, talking about his new book, covering a subject he is quite familiar with, both when he was a politician and, of course, as an analyst. Among his many career paths, Kevin Taft has been, and currently is, a consultant, best-selling author, and, of course, leader of the Alberta Liberal Party for many years, critic within the official opposition, of course, as well, taking on the Conservatives and then Premier Ralph Klein. Oil and gas always came up, Kevin, in the legislature.
Yes,
and
as it should.
In this book, Oil's Deep State, you look at two things. A, first of all, how deep the fingers go with respect to the oil industry in all facets of our society, so to speak, and also why that's not a good thing.
Yes.
And did you have this in the back of your mind as you were a politician?
No, when you're in the middle of the action, Ted, you don't see the bigger picture.
Sure.
I think it takes some time, a little bit of distance to see the patterns and make them out and see how they're connected. And really, I'm concerned that the oil industry has its grip on too many of the democratic institutions in Alberta, by which I mean political parties across the spectrum. I should make clear I'm no longer involved in any political parties at all. The regulator, big chunks of the civil service, the universities, and so on.
And some of these institutions, they're supposed to be independent.
They're supposed to be independent.
Right?
Democracy depends on the independence of these, a kind of creative tension, debate, arguments. And because that's not there, because these are all serving the same industry, essentially, important issues aren't getting raised. For example, how many Albertans know that the Alberta government earns more from casinos and liquor stores than it does from the almost 3 million barrels a day of bitumen it sells to big oil?
I would argue not many people
and so there's some questions that need to be raised around royalties, around environmental liabilities, and those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's actually, you half answered my next question, is that once you have this situation that you're presenting, then it can't be healthy for any situation when you think about it, right?
Yeah, I'm concerned as a lifelong Albertan that we're not facing up to the future. The future is going to be post-carbon. And when I listen to the political debates today, it's all about trying to move back 20 years. Oh, if we could only go back to where the world used to want our oil sands and so on. Every year, the biggest companies and governments are investing tens of billions of dollars in labs and brilliant people to make oil obsolete. They're starting to succeed.
Sure.
That's coming at us at great speed, and I don't feel like we're adapting at all.
You just said a few seconds ago that the oil industry's fingers go into all political parties. We've seen the now Rachel Notley NDP government trying to kind of green the industry, so to speak, but you're saying they too are influenced.
Yeah, I mean, this will be controversial, but I actually support the New Democrats' carbon tax. I think it's a good idea. I'm very concerned that they're encouraging such an expansion of the oil sands. I'm not convinced that that's going to be wise policy. And I think committing so heavily to pipelines, I'm just not convinced, especially why are we so anxious about shipping this bitumen when it's earning us so little money? Let's be honest here. I mean, it's creating jobs. Are those jobs going to be here very long? I think the jobs that have been lost are not coming back. And I think over the next decade, we're just going to see unrelenting job losses in the oil sector as the world moves away from oil.
There you go. Kevin Taft, by the way, speaking tonight, launching his book in the city of Calgary at Mount Royal University. Go online, Kevin, you're saying, to find out the room number, that type of thing. If you're interested. Open to the public.
Open to the public, 7 p.m., Mount Royal University. It's in the Faculty of Arts building, and I'm sure you can find it if you just Google.
All right. Good to see you.
Thanks,
It's been
Dad.
a few years, but welcome back. Good to chat with you again. Kevin Taft, the book's called Oil's Deep State, How the Petroleum Industry Undermines Democracy, Stops Action on Global Warming in Alberta and in Ottawa.